So when your manifestation is taking forever and you just don't know what is causing the delay, and like why is it not moving? Why is reality not changing? There is a very subtle way that is the literal first step to manifestation. And that is when your energy is leaking into things that are actually preventing your manifestation. Okay. So your frequency, your internal state is is everything when you are looking to go next level, when you're going to stop playing small, when you're tired of a cap, right? That's when your frequency is really important, because you can manifest so many things, um, without even thinking about your frequency. But when it just doesn't stick, when it reverts back to the old time, like without you realizing it, right? Quickly enough. And so the first step to correct your frequency to the frequency of your desired reality is energy leaks. So we're going to break it down. You see, there were years when I couldn't tell what was blocking me, right? What was giving me resistance, okay? And what was giving me resistance was something I quite couldn't pinpoint, okay? There was something in my body, right? When uh, somebody mentions a topic, or like, let's take, for example, the bank account, right? When you look at your bank account and it's not where you want it to be, you get an instant, like, like a cringe, like a body sort of reaction, okay? So this is where the whole topic of inner work comes into play, right? So why was I having that reaction? That it's not even a mental thing, because we can know so many things at an intellectual or cognitive level, but when it's not inside your body, when it's not embodied, right? That's when the problem comes. So I knew on intellectual level that if my bank account didn't have the number that I wanted, it would be okay in the end, right? Someday or soon. But I kept getting um this reaction, this body feeling, right? So the first thing to do there is not suppress emotions. You have to face what it is that is living inside of you. What emotions are you not wanting to face? What fears are you not wanting to face? And work through them, right? So in my case, I had to go back to my earlier years when I was 24 and something like that, where my parents went bankrupt, right? And the underlying story and fear that I had, it was a very, very hidden fear. Okay. My hidden fear was, what if I end up being just like my dad, right? Who kept trying things over and over and over without results. What if I end up like him? So then I had to work through all of that, right? And not only at cognitive level, but I had to do practices like EFT tapping, acupuncture, acupressure, so that I would decouple the thought of the story of my parents with uh, that feeling in my body that put me into fight or flight state, right? So, you know, a lot of times you can think, oh, all of that is complicated. You don't need it to manifest. Like, no, you don't need it to manifest, like small things. Like, for example, small things like making a six-figure salary in a posh, reputable corporate job. That was small. I was keeping myself small. And I want you to know that if you're feeling that way too, you can do so much more. You can be so much more. And deep inside of me, that's what I felt, right? So manifesting without a glass ceiling, manifesting like to real heights, that's where all of this stuff comes into play. Because when you don't correct your frequency, when your frequency is not strong enough to the reality of what you want, you snap back to the old ways or to the old realities, right? So take me for example, right? Like for years, I went on making like high six figures, right? And then back to nothing, so on and so forth. Why? Because I had so much stuff that I had to work through at a somatic level. You know how uh, they say that trauma lives in the body? That's exactly right, right? So if you want to manifest and have it stay, that's where this comes into play. So, number one, working through your emotions, suppressed emotions, ensuring it comes out. You have a catharsis about it, right? And that it comes out of your body. Okay. So, the next step is extremely important, or you could even say comes before what I just said. Either way, that is curating what is coming into you, what you are consuming. You see, once upon a time, I had a client that wanted to manifest a different life, and she kept watching the news and all these YouTube channels and TikTok channels that talk about how messed up the economy is, right? She was obsessed with conspiracy theories and the economy. And guess what? The years and years pass, and of course she's still in that same place, right? Why? Because she would not curate what she's consuming. And what happens with that is that you're constantly feeling like crap. You're living in fear. Okay? You are putting fear into your body. So this is where your energy is leaking instead of going to your manifestation from a cleared slate. A clear slate where you are actually able to visualize and feel it and affirm and actually have it work, right? So if this has been you and you have not cleared your energy leaks, let me know in the comment. And I'll see you in the next. Bye. Stay tuned for the 3-part series coming up.